2.5 years ago, I left a happy, comfortable 15+ year relationship with my best friend to go and start a relationship with a fuckboy.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
It has been 2 years since I made this video right here, so you might want to go watch that one first if you haven't. And I thought I would make an almost to the exact date update video about how that went, what I've learned, if I regret it, and oh boy, do we have a lot of talking to do. So let's go ahead and do it. Hello, look at me, I'm wearing the same shirt as the original video. Yes, I do have something more fun underneath, but it is fucking freezing in here, let me tell you. Once again, for some reason, our thermostat is not turning on the heat downstairs, so it's like 60 degrees, and I just thought it would be appropriate to wear the same shirt from the last video while still remaining warm. It's just like a 2-for-1. Even if you have been following my entire career, my entire life since I started on YouTube, like what, 10+ years ago, you might have missed that one video, and that video kind of details why I decided to stop living with Jay and being like life partners with Jay. Like the things that I thought were wrong, the things that I thought I did wrong. And at that point when I made that video, I was pretty terrified, honestly. Like I had no idea if I was making like the biggest mistake of my life. I really had no idea where I would be after these 2 years. So it's interesting to see that like I'm still with Hunter, and in retrospect to see some of the things that I could have done differently with Jay, and whether or not I regret doing the leaving. And you know, spoiler alert, I do not. I'm very happy where I am now. But there are some things, like let's talk about things that I miss about living with Jay or having my life connected to Jay rather than to Hunter or alone or whatever. I really miss, like the biggest thing I miss for sure about Jay and everything is I miss that I could always just like take a day off and play like a full day of video games. I really miss playing story-driven games with Jay. I would just lay on the couch and we would either take turns or he would play and we would just play for hours. I worked way too much when I was with Jay. That's one of my biggest regrets. I think I was replacing the passion and adventure and everything that I had for my life with Jay with kind of work. And that's what I usually do. I like to just spend time with my person, or I like to be working. And for me, working isn't like something that I'm just slaving away at. It's a passion that I have for myself too. So for me, I feel like I am developing myself while I'm working. So it's really easy for me to get caught in the workaholic mode. But I digress. The reason I was talking about the fact that I work so much is that like I would work like 7 days a week for like months, but then a new game would come out or something, like fucking the God of War game. I every time I see anything about Ragnarok or anything about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I die a little bit inside because I know that were I still with Jay, as soon as those games would have come out, we would have been on the couch for like literally 2 weeks straight. I would get my work done ahead of time so I could have like weeks of just playing a video game, just laying and being lazy. And I did eventually start hating the lazy lifestyle because we would like get pizza sometimes. It would be way too comfortable. Like I would feel disgusting. But I really do miss just binging a video game with Jay. And like, it's not that we can't do that anymore. It's not like I don't talk to him, because spoiler alert, once again, I still talk to Jay regularly almost every day, and we still are best friends. That is the one thing that I knew when I made that first video would remain constant, and it did. Like nothing about that changed. Me and Jay could still do that, but it wouldn't be the same because like I would have to go home at a certain time and like hang out with Hunter, and like I still do have that drive to do all that stuff with Hunter, but Hunter's not that kind of gamer. I mean, when I met him, he wasn't even a gamer at all. But when he games for me now, or when he enjoys gaming with me, he has like a very short attention span to it. Like we can play like 3 hours and he'll be like, fuck, I'm tired. I'd rather just watch TV or something. Or like, let's wind down for the night. Like he's not one of those people who can sustain like mental activity like that, even in like having philosophical debates and stuff, which is the only other thing I basically miss about Jay being my main partner, is that like I always had someone I could run my idiotic worldview by, and he would like cross-reference it, and we would get in like a fucking 5-hour-long conversation about something that would devolve into like crazy hypotheticals, and I really loved that. I loved engaging in conversation like that with Jay, and that part I still do with Jay, but he's much more busy. So like, even though we can do those two things, it's never gonna be in the capacity of like as extreme as we are. Like we can't just go like on a fucking 1 whole day long binge of talking about philosophy, and we can't go on a 2-week binge of playing video games. We have like separate lives now, and those separate lives require us to actually do things and exist outside of each other. So I do miss that. That's what I miss. One thing I did learn throughout this journey though, other than like the millions of other things I learned about myself, is that the problems I had with Jay were definitely fixable, but I don't know, I felt like I was constantly bringing up the issues that I had with him, and I felt like I was trying my best to communicate openly and to also introspect on myself, but it's like he didn't really realize that he was having any problems with me. He was pretty happy, and I was pretty happy too, so when I brought up the problems, I was like, it can't be that big of a deal, and I didn't realize what I was missing because I hadn't met Hunter to have that contrast. So like if we had just been more open and more honest and actually like took each other seriously when we said, hey, I have a problem with this, that, and the other, we could have definitely fixed it. We could have done what I do now with Hunter, which I'm so glad I have that skill. And I feel like I needed to leave. I didn't need to necessarily. There could have been like a perfect outcome of events that made me and Jay really buckle down and try to focus on the problems that I had with him and that he had with me and that we had with the relationship. But it just didn't work out that way to where we both realized that it was that important. And I acquired that skill through trying to traverse a brand new relationship with a very, very different person like Hunter. And now I have that skill that I could have applied to Jay, but I am so happy with Hunter. And it's not like if I could, I would just go back to Jay, or if I was unhappy with Hunter, I would try to go back to Jay. It's not like that, because there are other reasons now that I've realized that I didn't realize at the time why we weren't as much of a good fit as a couple, but are still a great fit as best friends. I am so appreciative and happy that I got this opportunity to try this. It's definitely one of those things that I look back on as like, wow, that was fucking rough and scary. It's one of those things. Have you ever had those things in your life where it's like you get through a hard part in your life, or maybe just even a hard day? Like you're like, God damn, I had to do like all these chores and they were really stressful and I didn't know what was gonna work out. But then at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, God, I would not do that again. I can't even believe like I made the moves to get that done. I've been having a lot of those lately, and that is definitely one of those, that whole situation where I decided to leave, where I made that big ass difficult decision that thankfully my hormones and my dopamine and everything were pushing me to make that decision, because if I had to make it completely sterilely, where I wasn't madly falling in love with Hunter and it pushed me in that direction to where it felt like there was no other option, like I might not have done it and just stayed complacent, because whew, that was scary. But I'm so glad that I did it, because I think Jay's better off for it. I mean, I could almost promise you that he's better off for it, but I don't like to put like words in his mouth for sure. And by the way, I did tell Jay that I was making this video and he's like, can I review it first? And it's Thursday and it goes up Friday, so hopefully I can get this edited to actually let him see it first. I don't know what he's worried about. So some of the reasons why I think Jay is better off this way is that I realized after we kind of like split up that his lifestyle now is so much more different than it was with me, and he seems to be thriving a lot more. Like he's a lot more of a social person than I had realized. Like I knew that he was really charming in public and charming with strangers and very talkative, but I can do that too. I'm very charming as well, but I'm an introvert naturally, so I don't want to have a million different social interactions every day with a million different people and have a million different friends and make the base of my social interaction be other people and lots of people or partying or anything like that. I don't have the capacity for that. I don't like it. I don't like enough people. And I realize now that Jay can do his own thing, that he does a lot of that and really enjoys it and loves it. And I was definitely holding him back from doing that stuff and being that kind of person, because I'm like a very misanthropic, hateful, introverted person. It's just like by nature, like I can be really charming. That's why I'm good at the job that I do here. I'm very talkative. I'm confident. I can strike up conversation with other people. But is that like something I want to do often? No. Is that something that like brings me joy? No, but it does for Jay. So I'm so glad to see that he's doing that. I had a lot of rules that obviously we could have talked through and worked through that I guess like he didn't like. Like I was very nervous about a lot of the like open relationship stuff that definitely held him back, and now he doesn't have that holding back, and he has a girlfriend who gives him a lot more freedom and space, something that I'm not really a person that I'm not a space person. I don't know, kind of a clingy person. And then I also realized that some of the things that stayed the same for him but changed for me made us pretty incompatible on a day-to-day basis. Like no offense to him, and he probably doesn't even agree, but like he is so much more messy than me. I mean, Hunter is organized, like Virgo organized. Sorry to bring in astrology, but it fits perfectly. I'm not saying it fits because astrology is mythical and real. I'm just saying like that stereotype definitely fits for him. He's organized, but I'm way cleaner. And like he'll organize things by putting them in drawers, and I actually want everything like nice and organized. But at the house with Jay, I kind of gave up on that because not only did I have so many things from F&M that you guys were sending me, like gifts and stuff and just clutter, he also is so fucking messy. He doesn't see anything needing to be cleaned. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck? The way I keep my condo, he's like, oh, it's only like that because nobody lives there. And he was even asking me like, what are the maids gonna do when they go there? It already looks clean. It's like, dude, there's like a layer of dust from a whole month of nobody cleaning it. You need to disinfect everything. Like, I want that clean smell. Like, I'm a clean freak. And then on top of that, I'm more of a go-getter. I want to just like do things. I'm spontaneous. I like have the drive to do all of the chores and little things. Like, I like my life to be organized. And with Jay's a very like, oh, I dread making this phone call, and he'll like put things off that are like really important for a long time, and I still struggle with being like, just fucking do it, because he'll tell me his problems. I'll be like, dude, just fucking get it done, just do it. You know, like I'm that kind of person. And now with Hunter is not spontaneous, but he is the kind of person who is a go-getter. So if we say we want to go on a trip, like, oh, I've always wanted to go here or there, we're going to do it within a year. And we push each other in different ways. Like me and Hunter just complement each other. We're not the same. In fact, I would say like me and Jay are more of the same person. And Jay's girlfriend, Brittany, would agree that me and him are very similar, and I think that makes us clash. And then in the practical ways, like cleanliness, like whether or not you get things done, like being a go-getter, waking up in the morning. I love that I have a real schedule where I'm waking up in the morning with Hunter, going to bed with Hunter. I know when to stop my work. Like there's a real schedule there. Jay still has a chaotic schedule, if not even more so chaotic than when we used to, where we would just wake up randomly, and he wanted to stay up even later than I did. And, you know, he's a night owl. I'm actually not that. I like waking up with the sun. I like doing, I would wake up even earlier, honestly, and go take hikes and stuff. I like getting to the gym like right in the morning, and so does Hunter. Like a lot of things just that are practical just line up better with me and Hunter. I feel like going through this transition where I was completely confident with Jay. Like I was such a confident person. I thought that like nothing in the world could shatter me. Any situation you would put me in, I would be like great for it. From going from that to dating someone who's completely opposite in many ways to the point where it's kind of scary and we actually had to work together to make the relationship work has made me so much stronger as a person. Hunter always pushes me to be a better person. Like we're just like hardcore fucking every single weekend meal prepping and food prepping. So we have food for the week. We like the same degenerate things like food, but we're great at just quickly meal prepping on the weekends. We do it together in the kitchen. It's so fun. You see all those memes where it's like, oh my God, I love this person, but I hate when they're in the kitchen with me. Get the fuck out of the kitchen if I'm in the kitchen. We are not like that. Like we're a fucking well-oiled machine with still a few little kinks to work out. Like when I'm doing the carrots, I'm like fucking peeling the carrots. I like to grab all the peels from the sink and throw them away. But like, I like to do that in a clean sink because I have this pet peeve where like any gross dishes or old food, even if it's food that I would eat and find appetizing, in the sink disgust me. So Hunter will be like meal prepping on the other side, like making some rice or something, and he'll just like throw in like some dirty ass forks into my sink when I'm doing the carrots, and I'm like, babe, what'd I tell you? And like I'll be like, all right, I guess you just have to clean out the sink when I'm done with the carrots. And it's like cute. Like I really like those interactions. I cherish those interactions. They're like things that make us stronger throughout the week, and I love that we can do everything together as a team. I really do feel like me and Hunter are more of a team, and me and Jay were more complacent together. Like we were a good team for certain things, but not for anything really practical or like self-betterment. And again, what I'm observing from what me and Jay were, we could have changed with a lot of communication and introspection. But like I said in the last video, there was a starting from behind point where I felt like who I was as a teenager when I met Jay is just not who I was anymore. And then I really felt like for either in my mental space or in Jay's, that was holding me back from feeling like I could become a new person. I really did feel like we needed to grow and forget the past and like kind of become two new people together, but we were stuck stagnant and we didn't even realize that there were a lot of problems that there were. So I said before that if me and Hunter broke up, I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I would try to go back to Jay if he wanted me. I don't think I would now. I think it would be kind of cool to like spend a lot more time with Jay as like a roommate again. That was cool. I don't know. Like I actually don't mind that. Like having the big ass YouTuber house, but it's just me and Jay actually kind of sounds appealing. and like Jay's girlfriend or whoever I have, you know, I actually like that idea because Jay is still one of the only people that I don't get sick of. He's kind of like not another half anymore, but another part of me that can just like be in the room doing something and I wouldn't mind. One of Hunter's girlfriends, would always say like, oh, let's do that thing where we just like work together in the same room, but like her energy just doesn't mesh with my energy well, so I never took her up on it. But I do like having someone there that I mesh with well and then just talking to them all the time. And me and Jay will still like be on the phone for hours sometimes, or he'll come over. I still give him haircuts and like we'll like talk about everything and catch up on everything. And he always tells me about the surprises he's gonna have for Brittany before, and then we'll like help each other plan surprises for each other's significant others. And a lot of people say you can't be friends or shouldn't be friends with your exes. A lot of Hunter's friends literally think it's like a red flag for me to be friends with Jay. But I honestly think that both of us kind of know that we shouldn't be together, but also can't live without each other as friends in our lives. You know, like that's my best friend. He always will be. So it's insane when people just kind of like hate their exes and shit. It's like, that's a red flag to me. Like when you have like a really bad relationship with your ex, you either dated someone who's like a fucking piece of shit, and then you choosing that piece of shit kind of says something about you, because it's pretty hard to hide that. Like you're looking for certain red flags already because of some childhood trauma or something. That's how I see it. If you end up getting with a guy who like beats you or something, and even then you should just leave and then forgive him and move on. You shouldn't be like, I fucking hate him, that asshole, like haha, I'm gonna hate on every girlfriend he has. Like all the memes that are like, haha, I'm laughing at my ex's new girlfriend, haha, I'm spending a lot of time thinking about my ex still in like a very nasty way. It's just like, that's a red flag to me. I don't have any like exes or people that I used to fuck that I don't like, and I try to remain acquaintances with them, but obviously their new girlfriends usually stop that from happening. Like with Frank, you guys knew Frank on my channel. I'm still friendly with Toby. I'm still friendly with most of the guys as long as they'll still talk to me, and like I don't have any actual problems with any of them, because like when you're building a partnership with someone, even if it was just like a sex partnership with a lot of these guys, for me in my situation, you're supposed to be with someone that you like, that you could see yourself being friends with aside from the sexual attraction, aside from all that shit. So it's crazy that people don't do that. I don't know. So for me, it's not weird at all to be friends with Jay, and it also doesn't mean that either one of us is waiting to have the other break up with their significant other so we can get back to them because we're still madly in love with each other. Like, you can be friends with attractive people, recognize that they are attractive, but just not have any of that romantic connection anymore, to the point where you don't want to be romantic partners with them. It's just like, that's a thing that happens. And sure, it requires a degree of trust, but like Jay and Hunter are pretty good friends now. I'm one of those people that like, my partner's gonna be friends with my friends. My friends aren't gonna be assholes to my partner. So like, Jay and Hunter are friends now. We all hang out as a group, but Jay's hung out with us without Brittany. I think it would be cool if Hunter and Jay actually hung out like boys' night or whatever the fuck. You don't need me there, you know, like they would get along and there's no animosity there, and I fucking love that. But really, most of what I learned is just about myself, and I'm so happy to have someone that I really feel like has a good foundation. Like, I have no complaints about the foundation of me and Hunter's relationship. I still have a few issues with like our differences in opinion with like travel and how we handle friends and stuff like that. But at the core, even though Hunter has like a million friends, at the core, he's also an introvert. Like, he can't do like friends all the fucking time. He would like go out on weekends and like drink and party, but that was more of like a drink and partying thing, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. And we're bettering each other without pushing each other to do that. Like, he now, like, I don't have to even say anything. He now does not want to do like a lot of drinking and a lot of partying. He wants to do it like, he feels the same way that I do, where it's like, we want to do it for something specific. Like, recently we just went to the Waste Management Open in Scottsdale, which is a golf tournament, if you haven't heard about it, on the PGA Tour, so it's like a real one, but it's like the most insane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, we woke up at 3 a.m., got there at 5, doors opened at 7, you're sitting there and you have to like run along the golf cart trail to hole 16, which is the rowdiest hole, in order to get a spot. So we were in our seats by like 7:10 a.m. All right, so I was gonna show you guys some of the running. I'm just gonna overlay some of it, but I actually found me and Kristen and Hunter in the video. So here it is, slow motion. You see us? It's gonna come up better. It's gonna be more obvious. There's Hunter, me, and Kristen. Oh shit, there's Hunter. And here's another screenshot. Like, there's Hunter, there's Kristen, and there's me as we started running with all the people. And yeah, this is on like the PGA Tour website. This is like the coverage. That's pretty cool. But yeah, you can see they're all running just to get to this area because the 16th hole has the highest likelihood of getting a hole-in-one and people fucking go wild. So it's not like regular golf tournaments where you're like golf clapping and you gotta be quiet. Everyone was rowdy as fuck. It's probably the rowdiest thing I've ever been to in my life. Just a bunch of fucking Scottsdale college kids. And by 9 a.m., there was already a guy who had stolen a pink skirt, chugged 3 beers, and got kicked out. By 9 a.m. It was insane. So yeah, we still do adventures that involve partying, but it's no longer something that's like hindering our lives or making us unhealthy, which I was worried about because I was like, fuck, dude likes to party. I like to too, but like I also care more about like aging well and aging slowly. And all of his friends look like they're much older than me. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be in this clique if this is like the result is everyone looking haggard and shit, you know? And obviously I can't keep my calories down if I'm doing great throughout the week. We got the meal prep, but then I fucking drink like 6,000 calories worth of alcohol on the weekend, you know? I love that he's inspired more of my outdoorsiness, and he also had that outdoorsiness nature, but never acted upon it. Like he would go and do like a few little outdoorsy things like once a year when other people suggested it, but now we're like hiking, kayaking, mountain biking, snowboarding, like all of this stuff together, off-roading. We have matching Jeeps, just like it's so cute and so sweet. And I just really do think I chose someone somehow, the first guy that I fell for after Jay, which is a red flag, but whatever, you know. I somehow found in him a great base for a great partner. And seriously, I'm so excited to hopefully make this work. And I'm not saying that it will 100% work forever, because I think it's unrealistic to need someone to be with you forever in order to decide whether or not you want to love them. I think love is a decision, and it's a decision that you should make well, but you can decide it every day and choose to love someone every day. And it's kind of like a choice. It's not like, oh, you know, honeymoon phase has ended. By the way, it's been 2.5 years and I don't feel like the honeymoon phase has ended. Everyone said it was like a couple months, like 6 months. People would say it ends at 6 months. Oh, it ends at your first big fight. Oh, we've definitely had some big fights and it did not end there. And then other people were like, oh, no, it ends at maximum like 4 years or something. So I'm still waiting. We're going to see what happens at 4 years, but I still feel it. And I think that's because I'm so worried about losing that passion that I will often be like pushing us to try new things. And Hunter likes going on date nights and he makes sure we do them periodically. Even though we spend all our time together, it's still important to dress up and do things just for us. We have those therapy sessions like usually once a week still where we talk about hard shit, and he's willing to work and I'm willing to work, and I think that's all you need. And I think Jay and I got to a point where neither of us were willing to work or knew we had to work. I think on my end, I didn't know I had to work and he didn't know I really had to do much. Like he didn't know what he was missing or whatever because he was happy with me. And I kind of felt the same. I wasn't sure what I was missing, but it felt like something was missing because I was generally happy. It's so weird to say that I was generally happy in a relationship and ended up leaving it, you know? The light is getting out of control, but I just wanted to say I definitely know more about myself. I'm a stronger person. I'm heading toward goals that I was not heading toward before. And I've really fallen in love with not only a human, Hunter, but a lot of other things, like being kind of a housekeeper, like a housemaid or whatever the fuck it is. A house hoe. I love doing that. I love like doing things for him and making things all cute and nice and cozy in the house as much as I can while still having like a full-time job, like a double full-time job basically. But I'm actually excited. I don't think there'll ever be a time when I don't have my own endeavors. Like I can't imagine only being a housewife. But the idea of doing the housewife type things, and when I do them, it's fulfilling to me and I love it. And I love doing it for Hunter. He's my king, you know? Like I love treating him like a king, and it doesn't feel like a chore like it started to with Jay. And I'm definitely going to make sure that we always check in with each other, so if anything starts to feel like a chore, we find out why and find out what happened and then fix it. And some of the basics of how Hunter and I have sex are a lot more in line with the type of passion that I want too. So there's that's probably one of the better parts, but not the only part, god damn it. But anyway, what I was saying is like you just choose who you love, make a good decision for their base characteristics, and then if you both work at it, I think it's indestructible. As Dr. K would say, the healthy gamer GG dude, we're kind of conditioned to think that like things are just supposed to be perfect. But like if you look at arranged marriages, even though I don't agree with arranged marriages, if you look at them, the premise for like you need to work on this and make it work should be applied to relationships where you get to choose your partner too. It's like, okay, I chose the base statistics, I have that base feeling of dopamine and serotonin and love for this person. Now let's actually build a love based on mutual respect and mutual effort, and just keep that effort up forever. And that effort should more or less be a fun adventure. And that is exactly what it has been for me so far. a fun adventure. Not without its hiccups, but very happy with where I am and happy with who I chose. And of course, wish the best for Jay. I'll call him right now and wish him the best. It sounds like I'm just like, bye, wish you the best, but like, still in my life. Thanks to everyone who has been here with me this long. I'll give you a little more fan service there. Woo, I love this bra. The clasp in the front bras, get them right now at Victoria's Secret because they're probably gonna not do those again for a while. The last ones I got, I was like 18, and then they finally brought them back. I'm like, ooh, fuck yeah. And the one good thing about the fat bitches being like the new models and shit for Victoria's Secret and Victoria's Secret going all SJW is they have a lot bigger sizes and different sizes of bras. So like I can wear pink bras now, and I can get like double Ds instead of it all being just like Cs and like very small Ds. I can now get like a 36 double D, and that's a 34F, and that fits me. So yeah, things worked out. I know there were a lot of negative comments, and I was gonna go through and like respond to some comments. Nah, I said my piece. I did my update. I'm still happy. I still made the right decision. I've learned so much since that video 2 years ago. And I want to thank you guys who have stuck with me because I know my channel's changed a little bit. I'm hoping to kind of bring it back to center. It's just like these last 2 years have been really weird for me, and I know I always like introspect and I'll fucking focus down on things to like a crazy microscopic overthinking level, and I've been doing that with this new relationship and how I've changed in relation to the new relationship. And I know a lot of people have noticed that like I'm just talking about like life updates, which often that's all I have time for. This channel's demonetized, so I don't have the like monetary incentive to do it. I'm trying to save for a house with Hunter, to start a life with Hunter, to go on trips with Hunter. And so for me, money is more important now, so I can't spend that much time on doing these like side passion projects. And then like all I've wanted to talk about is like how I'm changing in this relationship or this relationship in general. So I apologize for that, but we will get back to center. I think I'm finally like evening out where I don't have much else to say about this unless something comes up. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll get back to good old Tara, hopefully. I love you guys so much. Thank you. And if you do have any questions, I'll try to respond to them in the comments. If I get a fuck ton of questions, I might make a question answer video. Or, oh yeah, that's right, I'm doing the monthly videos where I have some questions that I answer. I'll fucking answer it then. I don't know. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Next week we have a toxic TikTok video. Yay. Bye.